Hey, hey, hey there. How are you doing? It is time for tonight's third part of a trilogy I've been doing around DEI and its impact on your business in 2025. How are you doing? Come on in. As you're doing that, I had a little issue here on my other. All righty, I'm getting everything here. Okay, here we go. Your 2025 action plan. All right, I am ready to get the party started. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. So, how you doing everybody? I'm excited to be back here tonight to continue this conversation that we have had for the past several nights around how this shifting environment that we are finding in 2025 will impact your business. It is so important that we focus on this. And so I want to start really by giving you guys just a little bit of review with what we've talked about in night one and night two. And then tonight, hey there, hey, good to see you. Tonight is especially important because tonight we're going to have our action plan. Okay. Tonight I'm going to be sharing my action plan because you don't have to let this environment have negative impacts on your business. No, this environment, you can still not only thrive, you can dominate in this space. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about doing tonight. Now, the very first thing I want to do is review points that we made in night one, night two, and now we're really going to get down to business. Night one, we talked about the fact that we have been here before. Yes. Hey there, Dr. Gail. Hey there, everybody. We have been here before. We have seen a history of Black advancement, white backlash, Black retrenchment. But even in those moments of retrenchment, we have had amazing successes, right? We talked about the fact that even during the post Reconstruction period, when everything was being taken away in terms of all the protections that, at least the protections that had started to be put up right after the Civil War that we fought for our freedom, all of the things that were advanced during that period, because of that Rutherford B. Hayes compromise, now you had the moment where all of this stuff was being pulled out. But even in the midst of that setback, we had Black Wall Streets that were built all across the nation, right? And we talked about how later on another sort of backlash to that advancement led to all sorts of shenanigans through via all of the terroristic activity, all of the violence, all of the Jim Crow laws, all of that, because there was such resistance to our success, right? To our ability to be able to achieve in spite of. And we talked about how all of that oppression then led to a civil rights movement that led to legal victories that put in place certain laws that opened up opportunities that many of us have been able to take advantage of in order to have success in our lives, a measure of success in our lives that would not have been possible if not for those who fought for that opening up. But then we've also talked about how we're in this space now where we're seeing a backlash. And I would argue that the backlash that we're seeing that is evidenced by all of this hateful rhetoric, all of the sort of attacks that have been raised around DEI, and then before that, critical race theory. It comes as a backlash to honestly a Black presidency, followed by the Black Lives Matter movement that led to a lot of action and very public commitments by major corporations and even universities around those causes. Made It just activated the right. They wanted to push back, and now it's led to this moment that we're in right now. It really led to the rise of Trump, I would argue, and it's led to this moment that we're in right now. The main point I wanted you to take away from day one is that, and still we rise, right? And still we rise. In each and every one of the situations that we have faced, and all of the backlashes that we have faced throughout our history here, and still we rise. And in fact, in the heat of those moments, we have created magic. We have been able to do that, even in the midst, for example, of the whole, all of the Jim Crow era and all of the horrors and the lynchings and everything that was going on, even in the midst of that ugliness and horror and just inhumanity and terroristic activity, we still had the beauty of the Harlem Renaissance, did we not? We still had Black genius on display. And I talked about how this is our moment for our own new Renaissance, this new Black Renaissance, where in this moment, instead of delving into and really maximizing necessarily the creativity of the arts and music and dance and all of those things that happened in the Harlem Renaissance, nothing's wrong with that. But I would say in this new Renaissance, we are being attacked frontally in an economic way. Our businesses are under attack right now. And I would argue that this is a moment that calls for an economic sort of retort to that action through this Renaissance. This Renaissance needs to be around raising successful Black businesses and making sure that we thrive in this moment. And then night two, I sort of broke that down a little bit more. Like, okay, so what does that mean to thrive right now? And what are some of the challenges that we're still facing in this space? Tonight, I really want to talk to those of you who may or even may not be in the DEI space at all. And I want to make clear that DEI is really just a code word in my mind in terms of the attacks that are being leveled against it now. It's code word for anti-Black. It really doesn't have anything to do, not only anti-Black especially, but also anti anyone, frankly, that's not white male, straight white male. But here's what I will say. In this moment, there is a lot of forces that are rallied against us. And I would argue that Black businesses especially are disproportionately being hurt by it. There's been research even recently that was released last week that shows that, particularly looking at Black women-owned businesses and talking about how the rollbacks in DE&I have been hurting these businesses. And none of the businesses that they focused on in this research were really even diversity-focused business. So I want you to understand that you don't have to be in the diversity business in order to be hurt by this attack on DE&I, because the ripple effects are that those individuals who would like to do business with corporations, you're going to find it harder now if those corporations who are anti-DEI are ultimately now no longer doing as much business with vendors of color. You're going to find it harder if you're looking to get a government contract in a Trump era in which they are very, very vocally not only anti-DEI, but very, very boldly, I would say, white supremacist. He definitely has white supremacists in his inner realms, and one could make a strong argument that he may be one too. Okay. So he's already said that everything that has to do with DE&I, he's getting rid of. And it's very interesting to me. If anybody has watched the latest hearings in terms of his Defense Department secretary, his nominee, it's very interesting because here is a man who is the least qualified person ever nominated for that position. Yet every other word out of his mouth seemingly during his hearing was about meritocracy. The irony of it all. So really, they're just using that as a word that they can use to make it more difficult for you to thrive. There is one thing, though, that we mentioned last night, that night before last, because last night I was on a rolling show, so I did not go live last night. But in our second one, I did remind you, though, that even with all of those things that are happening, there are also several organizations that are stepping up to the plate that are pushing back, that are saying we are going to stay committed to making sure that we have diverse representation in our staff, with our vendors, with the work that we do, right? So there are still some of those companies that have made that stand, but the fact of the matter is, and there are some, I would also say, that while they are publicly opposing it, privately they might just be changing the name. So there's still opportunity there. The bottom line, though, is I think it's very important that we face the fact that in this new reality, 2025 is going to be a very, very different lay of the land, especially for Black businesses. It's going to create a very, very different set of challenges for us. It's going to create very unique challenges for our businesses that might be different from challenges that other businesses face. And it does not do us any good to stick our heads in the sand and not recognize those challenges, not prepare for those challenges, and not be ready to fight against those challenges. I would argue that we have the ability in this moment to not just fight, we have the ability to win. And here is one thing that I know for sure. In moments of crisis, there are also moments of great opportunity. Somebody put that in the comment section for me, please. Where there is crisis, you will always find great opportunity. And so really, as we are facing this moment, I want you to ask yourself, on which side do you want to lie? Do you want to be in that space where you are recognizing this as a crisis and just stay sort of shell-shocked, like deer in the headlights look, not doing anything or just doing the same thing and business as usual, as if this is a moment for business as usual? I can tell you right now, this is not a moment for business as usual. Okay, business as usual ain't here. Okay, this is not a usual moment. So we have to do business differently. I don't mean to say that to scare you. I just want you to understand the lay of the land and to be prepared. This is about being prepared for this moment so that you can do battle with the right equipment, with the right swords, with the right armor, with all of the tools that you need to win in this moment. So that's what brings me to the topic of tonight's discussion. Okay. And that's what's, hey there, Valerie. Now that I put my glasses on, I can see who's here. Hey. So that's what brings me to tonight's discussion. And tonight's discussion is about straight up an action plan. Okay? An action plan. What do we do? I've laid down the law with regards to what's going on. We've talked about what to expect. We're real about the challenges that we face. Now let's get real about how we can create the opportunity that I spoke of and how we can take advantage of the existing opportunity or how we can carve our own paths. So let me just remind you, if you haven't already, share this stream. This is very, very important that you share this so that as many people as possible get to hear this, because this is absolutely critical. We cannot move into this year blind to what is happening around us. We have to be prepared. We have to be equipped. We have to be ready to fight for our businesses, our lifestyles, the well-being of ourselves and our families. In this moment, this is not a cruise and stay as you are moment. This is a moment in which we need to level up in many ways. And that's exactly what tonight's discussion with you is all about. What's the action plan to deal with this new terrain? All right, so I have 5 things that I really want to point to as areas that you have to focus on in order to be able to thrive in even this more challenging environment. Because, as I mentioned, opportunities are still there. Opportunities can be created as well. We talked about the fact that we need to create our own sources of opportunity. We need to be able to get together and find those opportunities and collaborate more instead of competing all the time and circulate the dollars within our own community. That is all true. What I'm about to share is relevant to that, but it's also relevant to opportunities beyond our community, because there are still opportunities out there in the larger space, but it just may be a little bit more competitive now to get those, right? Because there are probably less of those opportunities than maybe was the case a few years ago. All right. So how are you going to be best positioned to get those opportunities? I have 5 things I want to tell you that you need to double down on in 2025 in order to be able to make sure that you thrive in this moment. And not only thrive, really dominate in this moment. Make your competition irrelevant in this moment. Okay, that is my favorite phrase, but you definitely want to do that. Okay, number 1, first thing you need to do. Now is not the time to be timid, shy, oh, what is the word that I'm looking for? Modest, demure. Uh, you know, now is not the time to shrink. Now is the time to lean all the way in to your expert status. You need to embrace and exude your expertise. You have to get known as the expert in your space. Now, I know I've talked about expert status for a while, but here's the thing that I have found. There are a lot of folks that are modest, that don't even embrace that. And here is why it's especially important right now. It is so important that you're able to distinguish yourself from the competition that will be there. I predict that there will be more limited opportunities in certain spaces, particularly if you have certain organizations that have made it clear that they want to no longer embrace the ideals behind DE&I. That to me is a way of them saying that they want to have less diverse contractors. Okay, it's just another way of them saying it. And this means that that's going to make more space for the good old boy network and for things to return to where we know it naturally goes. The myth of meritocracy, like the ridiculousness that we saw the other day with this patently unqualified guy having meritocracy be in every other word come out of his mouth. Okay. So if we're going to really focus on the opportunities that are there, though, even in those spaces where there might be fewer, but they're still there, and in the other spaces where there's commitment is still maintained, we still need to know that we need to figure out how can we stand out from our competitors? How can we make sure that we're the ones that gets the contract? How can we make sure that we're the ones that gets the nod? How can we make sure that we can make those things happen? And that's why it's more important now than ever that you be seen as at the top of your field and not just one of the multitude. And the way that you do that is to really be seen as an expert in your space. Now, how do you do that? You have to be very clear. Hey there, Sankofa. You have to be, I would argue that right now also might be a very good time for you to sort of reassess all of the different assets that live within you. Are there things that you have been sleeping on in the past, abilities, skill sets, talents, even certifications, experiences that you've allowed to lay dormant in you for a while that maybe you need to lean back into, that maybe you need to elevate, that maybe you need to stop being so modest about and let people know that you are the ish in that. This is the last moment on earth that you want to be humble. That is the last thing you want to do in this moment. You will be humble and you will be like a speed bump on the road to success because everybody else that is letting their light shine, so to speak, they're going to get all the shine and they're going to get the opportunities. So it's at moments like this that you need to recognize your expert status and lean all the way into it. Another reason why this is important right now is because for those of you who do, in fact, I always hate to use this term, but I know when I use it, people know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who might struggle with imposter syndrome, it is especially important that you do that, especially right now. Because in this particular moment, there's going to be a lot of noise out there with people challenging you, people questioning you, people trying to start a little something around why you should be the one to get that when somebody else doesn't. And you have to be 10 toes down in your full badassery in this moment so that you don't allow that to take you off your game. So getting very, very clear about what makes you the expert that you are, and very, very clear about what elements of your expert status do you really want to lean into this moment and amplify in this moment is very, very clear, because that's going to be part of you being able to build a personal brand that will allow you to win in every environment, including this one. Your business is not just about your business. Your business is about you and the degree to which your personal brand is known and respected. And that happens when people see you as an expert in what you do. Is this making sense, guys? So that's number one. Number two, value-driven visibility. Value-driven visibility. Okay, what do I mean about that? So I made it clear that this is not the time for you to be humble. That's right, Brewer Foundation. I'm letting it cook tonight, okay? All right. Day two, value-driven visibility, or number two, value-driven visibility. I'm talking about there the fact that, once again, we established earlier in the week, and I kind of alluded to it now, that this is not the time to be humble. This is not the time to be quiet. This is not the time to be modest. This is the time to be seen, okay? This is the time to be heard. You have to be visible. Being the best kept secret will keep you broke, especially right now. So you have to make sure that you are seen, but being seen alone isn't enough. You need to be seen as the expert that you are. So the visibility that you are looking to get for yourself has to bring value to your audience of potential clients. Does this make sense? I'm loving that. My word for the year is audacious. Have the audacity to try new things, brag on myself, apply for things I may not be particularly qualified for, and put myself out there. Yes, yes, yes. I love everything about that. And you're saying something that's very important there when you say apply for things that I may not be perfectly qualified for, because there's been some research on that, you guys, that is amazing. So and I can't really tell from I think you're a sister. I can't really tell because the picture's very small and my eyes aren't that aren't that great these days. But there's been some studies that suggest that, if you put out, if a man and a woman sees the same job application, and a man might have 3 of 10 things that are mentioned that, they want in a job application, they see themselves as qualified. But a woman doesn't see herself as qualified unless she has 10 out of 10 things. And how often does that actually happen? So yes, you have to put yourself out there more. I'm so happy to see that. Okay. But what I mean by value-driven visibility is that it's not just enough to just toot your own, to be seen, to just show up, to say, pick me, in essence, in your marketing efforts. Whether that be primarily on social media or something, you have to give people something of value so that you can demonstrate your expertise before you get the contract. Does that make sense, guys? You have to demonstrate value before you receive the valuable checks. Is that making sense? All right. So it's understanding how to be visible, but being visible in a way that allows people to see you as the expert that you are. You see how we're sort of building on things here? Does that make sense, everybody? Y'all tracking with me? That is exactly what based on. Perfect. Absolutely. Hey there, Moni Love. How you doing, girl? Happy Founders Day. Number 3. Oh, by the way, happy Founders Day to my sorors out there of Alpha Sorority Incorporate. Okay. All right. Number 3. Okay. So far we've talked about embrace your expert status. Number 2, value-driven visibility. The same goes for Armed Forces, especially with Black women in this uniform. Wow, I'm not surprised to hear that something. Wow. Very, very interesting. Number 3, this is a big one, you guys. And it's ironic because you're kind of seeing it for yourself right now. On-camera mastery is a non-negotiable skill that you need to have for 2025. Boom. Hear me when I say this, people. On-camera mastery is a non-negotiable skill that you need to have for 2025 if you want to be able to maximize your marketing. Are you hearing me on this? Thank you, Soror. There's a need for women, especially women of color, to step into leadership in organizations as business owners, as thought leaders, and in their communities. Bam, you're exactly right, Rhonda. Yes, and yes. Okay. In case you haven't noticed, you guys, though, when it comes to marketing your business, video is the ish. Okay. Posts are good. You can definitely do that. But what's going to get you quicker to a yes is for people to really get a chance to see you live via not really live. Maybe live is great, but the next best thing to live is on video. Okay. So when I say that, I mean, you have to understand how to be able to engage and show up powerfully and confidently and communicate and show personality and really be able to connect and evidence your expert status. Like all of that is necessary to be able to master on camera. And that could look like on camera on social media, similar to what we're doing right now, during lives, or on camera with pre-recorded videos that you can create in terms of social media, or it could mean on camera in terms of television appearances or video podcast appearances. The bottom line is you cannot be hidden in this economy and expect to maximize your success in it. And having mastery of the on-camera space is a key element of being able to market effectively in this economy. I don't care what you do. Yes, this is true for people who are coaches, but it is also true for people who are consultants. Okay. It's also true for whatever you do. I have a client just yesterday who was on camera on a television interview, and then today they did another virtual interview where they're neither. Okay. They have a product that they're selling. All right. That, they have this game that they've created that's called Crime No Crime. Check it out, crimenocrime.com. And what it does is it teaches people in this fun and engaging way how to make decisions that don't have them end up running afoul of the law. And so they did a television interview on it yesterday. Today they did a virtual interview that will be on, in essence, on Sirius XM radio. Listen, on camera. Please do not let 2025 come and go without you feeling comfortable on camera. Is there somebody here in my comments that you feel like this is an area that I feel like I could use some improvement? Like, I might need to do that. Because at the end of the day, what we're looking to get you to the point of is ultimately attraction marketing, where opportunities are coming to you, number one, because people see you as an expert. People see you as someone who is leading your field. People see you, period. Okay. You are visible. So they come to you rather than you always having to go after them. And for those people that you do engage and you do initiate and you do nurture and you are looking to close them because you have demonstrated your expert status, because you are visible with value, because you come across very credibly and confidently on camera. When you get into that space where you are actually having the conversation that could lead to a yes, they're already sold by the time they're sitting in front of you because your marketing was that damn effective. Do you see what I'm saying? Is this making sense? I love it. Crystal says that her plan for 2025 is to get serious with her YouTube channel. Very, very great plan, right? And so that's going to require on-camera mastery. Absolutely. Number 4, lead your ish. In other words, lead your niche. Or it's been mentioned previously, you got to be known as a thought leader in your space. Thought leadership is absolutely critical. Your biggest, one of your biggest challenges, especially in this year with the increased, competition, honestly, that you will be facing in 2025, given these dynamics that we've talked about all week long, is that you need to be seen as the person that's leading the conversation, not just the person that's amplifying what everybody else is saying. When you are perceived as that thought leader, okay, then you are the one, once again, that's seen as the expert. You're seen as the one who is starting the conversations, not just one of the many that are in the middle of a conversation. That elevates your authority, that elevates your ability to be seen as someone who is valuable and has valuable thoughts and ideas that other people can find useful. Okay. So you have to commit to being a thought leader in 2025. That looks like a lot of things. That looks like you leaning into your on-camera mastery, being seen more visibly. It probably will look like you being published more. It probably will look like you appearing on television. It will probably look like all of those things so that you can get the visibility and elite spaces that you need in order to be seen as a leader in your niche. Does this make sense, everyone? You're going to be nervous. You're going to be unsure at first, but get comfortable with discomfort in this season. Absolutely, Rhonda. Your silence serves no one. Bam. Absolutely correct. Could not be more right. Okay. Could not be more correct. Okay. So commit to being seen as leading your field, not just being one in your field. Okay. Commit to being seen. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to say that's absolutely critical, and we've alluded to this all week long, is that you've got to elevate your environment. You've got to elevate your environment, meaning your network has got to be on and popping. Your network has got to be on and popping. Okay. You hear me on that? What I want you to understand is that we can play this good old boy network. We can play this good old boy game just as well as anybody else if you want to go there. Okay. But it requires that you have the proper network so that you can get access to the opportunities. Does this make sense? One of the things that has made it that will hold you back is thinking and believing that you have to do everything by yourself. Bam. Can I say that one more time? Hey there, Shania. One of the biggest things that will hold you back is you believing that it has to be a one man or a one woman show. No, it does not. You need to be in the right rooms with the right people and the right connections so that we can share opportunities. We can collaborate and connect with one another. We can figure out, if one person has a connection that you need, okay, then they can share their connection with you. And maybe you have a connection that they need, and maybe you can share your connection with them. We have to work more collaboratively together so that we can get to that point where we can literally lift as we climb. Is this making sense, everybody? Okay. Crystal said, say real loud for the people in the back. Absolutely. Dr. Gill, Lone Ranger syndrome. Jackie says, I'm guilty of that. And that is not a ding on you. I think that, honestly, many of us have felt like that because we've oftentimes felt that we've had to be that. Like, oftentimes we feel like we can't depend on anyone else. So we end up doing everything by ourselves. And I want us to understand that in this moment, our strength is in our unity. Our strength is in our unity. What is stronger, you guys? If you want to, I hate to use this violent example. Okay. But allow me a moment where I can use a violent example. Okay. If you wanted to, knock the fool out of somebody, would you rather maybe hit them with one finger or two fingers or three fingers, or maybe you might want to open your hands and smack them, okay? But the most powerful impact will happen when you pull your fingers together and create a fist. Is that not true? Is that not true? This is what it looks like to work together. This is what it looks like to make an impact that can benefit us all, individually and collectively. We have got to stop trying to do it all in isolation. We have got to figure out how can we work together collectively so that we all win. Does this make sense, everybody? Does this make sense to you? Well, you're exactly right. Our strength is in our unity. So we can come out swinging. Yes, ma'am, Anne Marie. I'm glad to hear that, Jackie. So listen, you guys, I want us to know that as we go into 2025, this needs to be a key part of your game plan. Like, bring all of these things together, embracing your expert status, providing value-driven visibility so that you're not just showing up and just saying, I'm here every day, posting on social media every day, but not posting effectively where you're showing and showcasing your value is getting you nowhere. You have to learn how to have infuse value into your visibility. You have to learn how to master your presence on camera so that you can really more easily and deeply connect with people. And you have to be that thought leader in your niche. All of the while, you have to create the network that is going to raise your net worth. Does this make sense, everybody? That's the key. It's those 5 things that will get you the kingdom in 2025, no matter what they throw at you. Because understand that when you have these skills that I just spoke about and you use these strategies that I just mentioned in terms of, for example, the value driven visibility instead of the mere visibility, and understand how to do that. And when you have the network that allows you to open up and get the opportunities, now you're a force to be reckoned with. Now you can take every sort of challenge they try to throw your way and say, that's okay, because I know how to elevate my value in this moment. And I know how I can find opportunities, maximize my chance of finding opportunities, because I'm not all out here as the Lone Ranger trying to find things by myself all the time. We're sharing information. Does this make sense, guys? So listen, as I was thinking about this, I didn't want this to be just me coming here and giving you a quick little analysis of what you need to do. Okay. I wanted to be able to go into this even more deeply. I wanted to be able to have even more time to lay out each and every one of these concepts with you, to really walk you through the process of unraveling and re-engaging you with your badassery in terms of your expert status, having you really understand what it looks like to develop value-driven visibility, having you understand how to be able to master your on-camera appearances in a powerful way, having you understand how to be able to be seen as that thought leader in your space, and how to build the network that you need to get you to that next level. And so I figured I'd take some more time to teach that to you. Okay. So listen, you all, I am going to, on January 27th, I am going to start something new. A deep 5-day training where I'm going to go into each one of those concepts in a more robust level. And I'm doing it because of a couple of different things. Literally, right now, today, we are 5 days away from when Beelzebub will be taking the oath of office and ushering into the White House. We're already seeing shenanigans. I'm just, oh Jesus, I get anxiety thinking about it. But here's what I know: we need to be prepared for what's coming together. The 27th will be 1 week from the day that he's inaugurated. And we're going to take that time to really make sure that we are fortified, not only for 2025, but for the years that follow. Because at the end of the day, we understand they're going to go after us. They're already going after us. They're particularly targeting our businesses, and we need to be prepared to fight. And ultimately, we need to be prepared to win. So at the end of the day, what's going to be required to make this happen is going to be a revolution. But not just not really the sort of traditional revolution, okay? Not that. I'm talking about a revolution in terms of the evolution that you will need in your business to be prepared for this fight. You will need to evolve to your next level in order to be able to win under these circumstances. You're going to need to grow and evolve to the best level and the best version of you in order to be able to compete in a more competitive market and win. Understand that in business, each and every day, you are either growing and evolving and getting better, or you are devolving and moving behind. There is no staying still. And especially right now, we've got to evolve. We've got to evolve. So I am inviting you right now to join me for this deep 5-day training that will be kicking off on January 27th. You can go right now to evolutionrevolution.com 2025 to register. Okay. I'm going to put this right here. Hopefully it'll come up. From somebody can put in the chat for me. That would be great. And as soon as we finish here, Instagram, I should have done it before. I'll put it on my bio. But Evolution Revolution 2025 might help if I put my glasses on. And you will get more information about it there. Also know that I am working on something very special for you all. That's basically going to be a key little action plan manifesto. You'll see it. I have something special for those of you who register that I really want you to sort of be able to look back on and prepare as we get ready to fight. My whole vision for this Evolution Revolution is to equip you with the tools that you need, with the armor that you need, with the weapons that you need to fight and win in this moment. And if you know that you are ready to evolve, join me. This is completely free. Okay? It's completely free, but it is not valueless. Right? It is not valueless. It is of great value. All right? Absolutely. So I'm excited because this is a brand new training. I've never done it before, but I have to say, I felt like this is a moment that needed something new, needed something different, needing something that met the challenges that we have right now, needed something that would allow you to prepare for what is in the battlefield and allow you to come out on the other side victorious. Okay. So once again, I want you to join me at Evolution Revolution 2025. I'm excited to be able to do that and put that together for you. Listen, I love my trainings. I feel like I go really deep. People have amazing value from my trainings. People leave the trainings really transformed. And I think at this moment, there is no more important time to develop something right now for us. And here's what I think too. Because of the people that I know that I'm speaking to right now, and that's really, this message is really resonating with. The beautiful thing is that as you come into this training, you're going to get a chance to get to know one another. It's going to you're going to have this like little mini community that we're going to form, and we're going to start that community building and that networking right from the beginning. Okay. Know that this is your time to get prepared to fight and win, no matter what's happening in politics. No matter what's happening in your 9 to 5, even if they acting crazy, now is your time to be prepared to grow the type of business that will allow you to leave them in the dust and create your own reality. So once again, evolutionrevolution2025.com. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Now I got to run because I have to go and see some of my clients right now. I have a training with them that's starting in maybe about 60 seconds, but I'm going to say thank you for joining me tonight. I'll be back here. This is not the last that you're going to see of me, because this is something that we need, and we're going to fight and we're going to win. Trust and believe that Renaissance is on the way. With that said, you guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. I look forward to seeing you guys in the Evolution Revolution 2025, and see you soon. Take care, everybody. You are most welcome. Take care. You registered? Awesome. Can't wait to see you there. All righty. Thank you too. Bye, everybody.